Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Dr. A. Steve Alexander with SportsEthos.com, Fantasy NBA Today. This is Q&A with Dr. A today, and I'm going to answer a bunch of questions. And as usual, like everything else we do, this is brought to you by FanDuel. I am a firm believer in FanDuel. I love FanDuel. I play in a league with my buddies every single night, and we're all about it. So go to FanDuel and set up a league with your boys, and that way you don't have to worry about, um, you got Jordan Poole on your season-long team, and he's making your life hell. Go play FanDuel. You get a new team every day. All right, let's kick this off. Alex wants to know, is Jay Huff a must-add player? Is he a rest of season play? I think he is. The last 2 weeks was a brutal slump. He broke out last night with 20 points, like 3 threes. He's not a great rebounder, so he's not going to like rescue your team's rebounding, but he does two things very well. He blocks shots and he hits 3-pointers. And I don't know why the Pacers went away from him recently, but he was back at it last night. Nothing is ever guaranteed, but I do think Jay Huff is a must-add and a good play the rest of the year. Jordan wants to know, should I trade Kawhi Leonard for Anthony Edwards? What about for Cat? Ugh. I mean, Jordan, if you do that, you are absolutely banking on Kawhi Leonard getting hurt, which is a pretty decent bet. But you're also trading a guy that has carried your team for the last month on its back and is making your team really good. I'm not a big trader. It makes sense to sell high, but Anthony Edwards is questionable tonight. There's no guarantee that he doesn't get hurt. Cat has a long history of injury concerns. So my answer is yes, you probably should trade Kawhi Leonard, but I would make sure you're getting a sure thing back. And he's just not Anthony Edwards is not as good of a fantasy player as Kawhi Leonard is, and I don't really trust Cat. So it's tricky. The answer is yes, you should, and I probably would not. Taylor, would you rather have Justin Champagnie or Trey Johnson rest of season? Justin Champagnie is my answer. Sam wants to know, Cade Cunningham or Tyrese Maxey rest of season? That's a great question. I'm going to say Cade just because I like what Detroit's doing. I like the way they're playing. I was on Cade to start the season. I had him ranked 5th. I'm going to say Cade. I'm worried about Philly maybe tanking a little bit if Joel Embiid gets hurt. Morgan wants to know, should I hold Julian Champagnie while Vassell is out? Absolutely. We just talked about this in one of our recent shows. We talked about Julian Champagnie a lot in that episode. I believe he's the poster child, the cover boy of that episode. So look for that at Sports Ethos and check that out, because Brew and I kind of did a deep dive on Julian Champagnie. The short answer is yes, he's a hold right now without Vassell, and yes, we think he can hold value after that, although he may take a little bit of a Vassell hit. I don't think it'll be huge. Casey says, please rank rest of season: DeAndre Ayton, Nick Claxton, Grayson Allen, Anthony Black. I'm going to go Black, Claxton, Ayton, Allen. Brew is really high on Grayson Allen. I think he might have him number 1 on this. To me, it's Anthony Black. Jalen Suggs is not even doing court work. He's not even close, and Black has just been awesome. DeAndre Ayton's been in a slump lately. He's kind of like turned back into DeAndre Ayton. I don't love that. I like Claxton's block shots, and Grayson Allen got off to an incredible start. Then he got hurt. He's got to deal with Colin Gillespie, and I don't know, man. Devin Booker. I want to believe in Grayson Allen, and maybe he'll bounce back and be the best player out of this group. But right now, I'd rank him Black, Claxton, Ayton, Allen. And you know what? I'll put Grayson Allen in front of DeAndre Ayton. How about that? Jamie wants to know, should I trade Trey Murphy to get Scotty Barnes? Trey Murphy's kind of dinged up and injury prone, right? He's got lower back issue right now. He's questionable. Just coming off a career high 42 points. Scotty Barnes is a baller. I mean, it seems like a fair trade if you're worried about the injury risk that comes with Trey Murphy. I think you can do that. Chris wants to know, what do I do with Dante DiVincenzo? Another timely topic. We just talked about him on our last show as well. Kind of a little bit of a deep dive. He just hasn't been great. The field goal percentage, the free throw percentage is really rough. 12 or 13 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, and about a steal and a half, and some threes. So he's got value, but he's killing it with these percentages. So, what do you do with that? It depends on how deep your league is. It depends on what your settings are, all of that stuff. I could see Dante DiVincenzo being droppable in some scenarios. So it's tricky. I would need to really know all the details to really make an assessment there. But the long and short of it is DiVincenzo is probably somebody you're holding on to, and is also somebody that you could drop if you needed to. Would you rather have Herb Jones or Bilal Coulibaly? I'd rather have Coulibaly, man. He's rolling right now. Herb is in and out of the lineup. He's always questionable. I love Coulibaly. That is from Patricia. And then Ryan wants to know, I'm in a 10-team league and need to drop one of Zach LaVine, Stephon Castle, or Kobe White. Ooh, man, that's tough. 10-team league and need to drop LaVine, Castle, or Kobe. Dang, man. I'm going to go with Kobe White. He's just not playing as well as we thought he was going to. Jordan wants to know, is Kyle Filipowski worth holding? That's a great question, man. My thing is, I think Filipowski is going to be a silly season hero one way or the other. Whether you can put up with him from now until then, I don't know, because if you have him, you know that it is not fun and it's been rough. So I'm gonna say, where'd the question go? I just blacked out. Is Kyle Filipowski worth holding? I'm gonna say you will want him at some point, but right now he's too up and down to really stick with. So you might have to let him go. But just try to get him back if you do that, because he's going to go off in about a month. I have a chance to trade Kevin Porter Jr. for Alpi Şengün. Is it worth it? Şengün's hurt right now. Kevin Porter Jr. has been awesome all season. That's from Taylor. I do think it's probably worth it. Like, I think that's a good trade, but before you do it, just make sure that Şengün is coming back when he's supposed to, and this injury isn't going to linger all year. If Şengün was healthy, I would say absolutely do it. Alex says, who's the better stash, Trey Johnson or Walter Clayton Jr.? I'm going to say Trey Johnson. Morgan, would you drop Clowney to pick up Justin Champagnie? Yes, I would. Casey says Quentin Grimes or Osar Thompson. Man, Osar's been in the drop zone all year. Brew loves Quentin Grimes. I'm not a big Quentin Grimes. I'm going to say Quentin Grimes. Jamie says, who should I trust as a streamer, Marcus Smart or Jake LaRavia? I like LaRavia's upside a little bit more. Smart's going to get you steals and threes. If that's what you need, I'd go Smart. But if you're just looking for overall scoring and production, I'd go with LaRavia. I think he bounces back tonight against the Spurs. Chris says, are any injury stashes worth it? Ty Jerome, DeJounte Murray, Kyrie Irving. I have a free IL spot. Should I pick any? I think I would go with Ty Jerome out of that group. I don't know why Kyrie Irving would really try to come back this year. I've heard that he is. I just have a hard time believing it. We got a bad report on DeJounte Murray, who I've got on an IR slot on every team. I don't think we're going to know much on him for a month. And I feel like Ty Jerome's probably the closest, so I'd probably go there. The question is, can Ty Jerome deal with the emergence of Cam Spencer? That's for another topic. Who's your favorite out of NAW, Santi Aldama, and Reed Shepard? This is from Patricia. Well, I think I would go with NAW with all this Trae Young trade to Washington talk that is happening right now. I know NAW has cooled off lately, and Santi Aldama's been awesome all year. Actually, I'm going to rank him Santi, NAW, and Reed Shepard. I'm just going to do that. Ryan says Kyle Filipowski, Bobby Portis, or Jay Huff. Filipowski's last. Whether you want to pick up Bobby Portis or Jay Huff, that's kind of a coin toss. Jay Huff is obviously coming off the big game and he's hot. Portis is more dependable and reliable, I think. I think it's Portis, but if you want to pick up Jay Huff, I'm cool with that too. That was from Ryan. Jordan wants to, what was the best song of 2025? Oh my God, I have no idea. How about that mashup of what was this stupid thing called? I'm kidding. It was the Four Non Blonde song with the Nicki Minaj song Bees or whatever. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'd have to think about that, Jordan. Taylor says I'm on a 14-team league debating between Cedric Coward, who apparently avoided a very serious injury, Christian Brown, TJ McConney, and AJ Mitchell. I think I'd go with Mitchell, man. As much as I've tried to say that his value is on the way down and it's not going to happen for him, he's just been good. I'm going to go with AJ Mitchell there. Alex says, is your boy Brandon Williams worth it in a 12-team league? I've got him in like 2 or 3 12-team leagues, and he's been fun. I've been digging him. Brew had Najee Marshall as, I think, one of the pickups of the night from last night. I like Najee Marshall. He got a little weird there for a minute, but generally speaking, you can rely on him. He's sort of like a mini version of Sadiq Bey, except unlike Sadiq, he's healthy right now. Morgan wants to know Bryce Sensabaugh or Dylan Harper rest of the season. I just got done dissing Dylan Harper and telling everybody they can cut him. So I'm going to say Bryce Sensabaugh. I've always been a low-key Sensabaugh fan. I got Casey says I got offered Jalen Johnson for my Anthony Davis. Should I do it? Yes. I would absolutely do that deal because I don't see how Davis gets through the season. And Jalen Johnson, I don't know if you noticed this or not, is destroying the NBA. So I would do that deal. Jamie says, which team will Trae Young play for after the trade deadline? It is going to be Washington. And I think he will be healthy, and he wants to go to Washington for some reason. I assume he'll ball out when he gets there. Now's probably a great time to buy low on Trae Young. Now that you bring it up, Jamie, good call. Chris wants to know, is Ryan Kalkbrenner an automatic drop? We should get news on him in the next week. I think in a head-to-head league, I would drop him. I'm kind of over Kalkbrenner, and I don't think the news is going to be good. I think his arm is wrecked, and I'm kind of expecting bad news when we finally get that news. So I'm okay with dropping him. Patricia says, I'm third in my head-to-head 12-team league. I got offered Austin Reeves for Keontae George. Do you pull the trigger? I think Keontae George is going to do this all year. I'd love Austin Reeves. I don't know how much longer he's out, but it's for a little bit. I don't know, man. I'm fine with doing that trade, but I don't need to do that trade. I'm good with buckling up and riding with Keontae George until the end. But you know your team better than I do, and if Reeves' skill set and stat set helps your team more than Keontae George is helping your team, then you do it. Ryan says, I have Derek White and I got offered Jamal Murray. What should I do? That's a tough one, man. I've always had trust issues with Jamal Murray. My son loves him, has no trust issues with him whatsoever. But I am always fearful that he's going to miss games. I love Derek White, dude, blocking shots, banging threes. I'd rather have Derek White. Would you rather add to Monty Kamara or Draymond Green? I'd rather punch myself in the face, I think. To be honest. I'm gonna go with Kamara, but I'm not happy about that. And then to go back to Jordan's question um about the song of the year, my favorite song of 2025. I'm gonna pull this one out here and tell you that it was, and I know nobody cares about this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Almost there. It was the first song on their new record, Scholars, by Car Seat Headrest. The song is called CCF, I'm Gonna Stay With You. That was sort of my jam, my 2025 jam. All right, now we are carrying on with questions. I need to make this bigger so I can see the questions because I'm blind. Nova wants to know Randall or Bam Adebayo 12-team points league. The answer should easily be Adebayo, but somehow Julius Randle is having a nice season. I'm still going to say Bam just out of principle. Bam Adebayo. Andre, what else we got? With the injuries piling, this is from PLF 1997. With the injuries piling up for the Bulls, do you think Modest Buzelis has an opportunity to get more minutes and ball out consistently? Yes, he does. We talked about it on yesterday's shows. Buzelis has played at least 30 minutes and 3 in a row. He's probable tonight, despite an illness. I'm really hoping he gets 30 minutes again. When he gets 30 minutes, he balls out. So absolutely, let's go PLF. I'm into that question. Brenda Jones wants to know. I have a Kongwu, Duran, Randall locked in. I also have Isaiah Stewart, PJ Washington, and Maxime Reynaud. Would you drop any of them for Luke Cornett, Musa Diabate, or Jalen Smith? I think Diabate needs to be picked up, and eventually Sabonis is going to come back. So I think Reynaud for Diabate is what I would do. Yes, I'm stopping there. Matt Carmody. Matt, what's up, man? What order would you rank these 4 players rest of the season? Davion Mitchell, Jay Huff, Najee Marshall, and Brandon Williams. Interesting. We talked about all 4 of these dudes today at some point or another. Tyler Hero's back, so that drops Davion Mitchell for me. I'm putting him at the bottom of that list. Brandon Williams appears to be locked and loaded as the starting point guard in Dallas. I'm putting him first. At Jay Huff gets you blocks and threes. That combo is too good not to be excited about just from fantasy standpoint. I don't know if Indy's going to give him enough minutes. I like what I saw last night from Jay Huff, so I'm going to ride the hot hand. I'm going to go Brandon Williams, Jay Huff, Najee Marshall, then Davion Mitchell. Thanks, Matt. Nova, who are some good players to stash prior to the trade deadline? Kuminga likely will be traded. I mean, Kuminga needs to be traded. I think he's a decent stash. Malik Monk, I think his name's popping up in trade talks all the time. I think he's a great stash. Day'Ron Sharp, if Claxton gets traded. Yes, if Claxton gets traded, I want Day'Ron Sharp, but I don't know if Claxton's going to get moved or not. What we got next? Zero Measure says, what role does Julian Champagnie have moving forward? When do you think Vassell will return? And he'll reclaim the starting spot. Vassell's out for a minute. Like I feel like at least 10 more days. I haven't researched that, but that's what it feels like to me. I think Champagnie has a role even when Vassell is back. Champagnie's been pretty decent all year. He's had some big games. So yeah, I think I like the idea of picking Julian Champagnie up right now. I like the idea of hanging on to him and riding that out. Sit 1429. This is from Dunder Muffin. Nice. My son's work party had a white elephant gift exchange, and they also handed out awards afterwards. So I was like, dude, you were in an Office episode, you were at the Dundies, and you were in the Christmas episode, which are arguably two of the greatest Office episodes ever, but not as good as the dinner party, which is my all-time favorite. Sit one tonight. Kevin Porter Jr. versus Golden State. Ryan Rollins versus Golden State. Gillespie versus Memphis. And Spencer versus Phoenix. Man, I think you got to play Spencer and Gillespie. And I think you got to play KPJ. So I'm going to go Ryan Rollins. That's a tricky one, but I'm going to go Ryan Rollins and hope Gillespie and Cam go off. Ox Picasso says, Doc, in a points league, I've sent Fox and Shaden Sharp for Giddey. Your thoughts? I believe Sharp usage will decrease with Holiday, Scoot, and Grant coming back. Also not a fan of the Spurs' deep team. So I've traded De'Aaron Fox and Shaden Sharp for Giddey. Wow. I think Fox is going to be really, really good. You're right. Sharp could take a hit. I love Giddey. So you're pulling at my heartstrings here. You gave up two really good players for one injured player. That makes me a little nervous. Hopefully it works out for you. Fox was not good last night, and I think that probably makes you feel better about this, but I'm a little nervous about that trade. I don't hate it, but if Fox goes off and Sharp stays relevant, it's going to be tough for Giddey to match both of them. Thank you, Ox. Thunder is back. Can you give us your go-to dance move when you grace the dance floor? You know what, Dunder Muffin? In college, I was the DJ, and I never, ever, ever danced. And my wife and I dated in college, and she's always been a little bit pissed off that I never danced with her. I'm just not really a dancer. I think if I do have too many beers and somehow end up on a dance floor, I'm just doing basic white boy shit that is really kind of pathetic. So it's my dance moves. Ox says, how do you think Trey impacts the Wizards moving forward? I don't know, man. Bye-bye Bub Carrington, I would assume. It's probably good for the guys he plays for, and maybe it gives Washington the idea that they need to try to win games and start competing. I think it's not a bad thing for Alex Sarr. I don't think it's a bad thing for anybody. I think getting him out of Atlanta and letting the Atlanta guys breathe and do their thing is good. I think Trey is ready to get a fresh start and go to a place where he'll truly feel wanted. I'm not sure why he wants to go to such a historically rough place to win, but to each his own. Go get him, Trey. Rui was assigned to the G League and looks to be back soon. Is Laravia a drop after tonight? If Laravia would have gone off last night, we would not be getting this question. We wouldn't be talking about dropping Laravia. I think Laravia bounces back tonight. And I think I'm hanging on to Laravia until Austin Reeves is back. Maybe you're right, Matt Carmody. Maybe Rui is going to ruin Reeves, but I'm not there yet. Dennis says drop Neesmith, Grayson, or Turner for Kelly Oubre. Miles Turner, dude, has been garbage. Like, how can you shoot that poorly? And how can your numbers be that bad? You left Indiana because you wanted to win now. And like, how is that working out for you, bro? Neesmith, Grayson, Allen, or Turner for Oubre. I think I'm dropping Grayson Allen just because Neesmith is doing stuff for me right now. And I mean, I can't sit here and tell somebody to cut Miles Turner after you drafted him in the 5th round, right? I'm going to say Grayson Allen, much to Bruce's chagrin. Frank Game Blouses says, who would you rather have, Tumani Kamara or Justin Champagnie? It's Champagnie by a mile for me. Matt wants to know, who do you have going to the Super Bowl? Well, I bet $25 on the Indianapolis Colts to win the Super Bowl, and I got that bill the other day, so that's not gonna work. You know what? I'm in basketball mode right now. Football, think. Damn. I sat down Monday night thinking I was gonna watch Monday Night Football, and I'm like, oh, the regular season's over, and I just checked out. I don't know. I'm all fired up about going to this Hoosier game on Friday. I will bring you my Super Bowl prediction next Wednesday. Ox is back. Keyshawn George, PJW, Wiggins. What's your pick for rest of the season? Is that Aaron or Andrew? Keyshawn George. It's probably Aaron. It's PJW. PJW is my answer. PJ Washington. Who's your favorite stream of Steven Adams versus Williams Jr., Chris Dunn, Craig Porter Jr., Keldon Johnson, Jalen Wells? Sorry for the long list. Yeah, I see it's a points league. Can you go back to that list for me, Andre? Favorite stream tonight in a points league. So that's Vince Williams Jr. I was just like seeing you like Williams Jr. Help me, Jesus. If it wasn't a points league, I would say Steven Adams. He's probably going to get a double-double on a block. In a points league, I think I'm going to go with Jalen Wells. I don't love that. Keldon Johnson or Jalen Wells or Chris Dunn or Steven Adams. How's that for wishy-washy? I'm going to go with Keldon. Ox is back. Would you consider Cam Thomas a stash? Yeah. I mean, Cam Thomas, scores are hard to come by. So he has value, and he hits threes, and sometimes he does other stuff. I'm fine with stashing Cam Thomas. I don't love him as a fantasy player. Frank Gameblouse is back. Sit two for tonight. Buzelis, Derek Queen, Kamara, or Neemias Keita. This is the last question, and it's a doozy. I'm not sitting Buzelis, bro. I'm probably not playing Kamara, so it comes down to Derek Queen versus Neemias Keita. Andre will probably fire me if I don't say Keita. So I'm going to say I'm sitting Derek Queen and Tumani Kamara tonight. I'm playing Buzelis and Keita. Matt Carmody says, thanks, Doc and Andre. Appreciate you guys. We appreciate you, man. Like and subscribe, all that stuff on YouTube. Brew always says that helps us. It really does. Helps us be able to keep doing this. And we love doing this. It's so fun. And thank you all for coming. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. I'll see you all tomorrow on Thursday. I won't be here Friday. I'm going to the Peach Bowl. See you guys.